All right, guys, so strap placement for optimal arm wrestling. So this can kind of depend a bit on the person, right? Depends what move you're going for. In general principle is you want the straps as close towards you as you can, because if they're close towards you and then you pull back, you will end up pulling your opponent a little bit further over your side of the table, okay? So in general, when you're setting up, if you're trying to get both straps towards you, if you position your hand a little bit supinated and a little bit forwards, so when they're placing this, it kind of sits further towards your thumb. Always towards your thumb is better. If it's up on your knuckle, it's going to restrict your ability to rise, which is an issue. The other big one is bottom strap placement. So this is where the ref should actively ask you, do you want a high or a low strap? The majority of people say low, and the ref often, they're trying to get through so many matches, they might just presume you want low. But if you want high, make sure you tell them. So the low strap connects you more to your back pressure, okay? So if you're connected down low, you can really drag with this lower strap and get good lat engagement. So the extreme example, right, is if it's all the way down here and I'm basically, if I was able to stabilize that down there, I'm basically literally just doing a deadlift at that point. So that's the extreme. That's when you've got like all the lat drag you could possibly ask for. Obviously we don't get quite that much, but it's usually the lowest you're allowed is 1 inch below your wrist bone. So about like there. Why might you want a high strap? For me personally, as a top roller, I prefer a low strap because I like that back pressure connection. But for example, for hookers, if you have a low strap, and I mean, being connected to your back pressure can be really good for hooking as well, right? So again, this kind of, you're gonna have to try this yourself and see what seems to work better for you. But say I'm a hooker, right? And I've got this low strap. Once our hands get tied together and it's really tight, your movement kind of becomes a bit limited. So you really should be, you gotta be really connected down here to maintain a good position. Whereas for a hook, you kind of wanna shoot for a hook, right? You wanna kind of elbow comes forward, trying to get that cup and maybe some supination in. And so what you find is you get a little bit extra mobility if your strap is higher. So now I'm not feeling as tight through the hand, and you might be able to sink in your cup a little bit better. So sometimes for hookers, they might prefer a higher strap, but really it is up to your individual feel. A lot of hookers also prefer the better connection, the bite point down the bottom. So try both, see what you feel. You might have to try it in an actual match scenario to get really like accurate info. Personally, I like both of them nice and far towards me, because then I can really connect to my back pressure. But say if you're really going for that hand control, you might appreciate some extra mobility in your hand. You do have to then worry about your opponent. You need to get more hand control than your opponent gets back pressure. So that's something you gotta keep in mind when you're doing that. Hey guys, my goal is for this channel to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I hate to ask, you guys are awesome. If you could drop me a sub, drop a like on the video to help the channel grow. But yeah, so let's continue to strap up. So at the point we're about to tighten it down, if you're neutral, it's just gonna get pulled straight down, right? But we wanna try and optimize a little bit. So if anything I can do to get it towards my thumb is better. So for example, as the ref's tightening down, shooting my hand forwards and supinating in a little bit. So now you see that's pulled down towards, if you open up. So the difference was before was here versus now when I pull in, come in for a close up here. Now when I pull, so I'll do it down here, I'm gonna push forwards, supinate, so that it tucks the strap further towards my thumb. This is ideally what you want. Nice, as far away from your top knuckle as you can. Because now you can see, I've got access to my riser. My riser can go up and down nice and easily. Whereas if the top strap goes up towards my top knuckle like that, it's really limiting, particularly when this all gets really tight. This isn't a particularly tight strap, but when it's a really tight strap and this top strap is up really high, it prevents you from being able to rise up. So that's a limiting part of your game, and you've got to use other aspects. You might not be able to do like a posting top roll, for example. So in general, try and get that top strap as close towards your thumb as you can. And sometimes you can even ask the ref, hey ref, it's a bit far up on my knuckle. Could you just pull it off my knuckle a little bit just to help you out? Because they're usually happy to oblige. And you might get that extra like 5% that you need to win the match. So yeah, so that's it guys. Let me know, do you prefer a high strap or a low strap? And never stop learning arm wrestling. Hey guys, I had a comment in one of my previous videos that the music was a little bit too loud. So how'd you guys find the audio on this one? Was it better volume? Let me know.
Like and subscribe to learn arm wrestling together.